let's jump right into this incredibly bizarre, absolutely fascinating explainer covering one of the wildest rivalries in comic book history. When we think of epic comic book showdowns, we usually picture evenly matched titans trading earth-shattering blows, right? But what happens when the absolute highest stakes of the Marvel Universe crash headfirst into reality-breaking, fourth-wall-shattering comedy? Well, you get the cosmic feud between Deadpool and Thanos. So this brings us to a question that honestly sounds like a complete punchline. How on earth did a wisecracking mercenary kill the terrifying Mad Titan? Twice. I mean, seriously, can anyone actually defeat a being capable of snapping the universe in half, let alone a trivial mercenary armed with a plastic toy? Think about it. Thanos is a cosmic conqueror, right? An ultimate threat who's taken on the Avengers, the Guardians of the Galaxy, and reality itself. And Deadpool is, well, he's Deadpool. He's responsible for the deaths of thousands, sure, but his greatest strengths are basically his healing factor and his reality-breaking sense of humor. The idea that these two would even cross paths is just strange. But the fact that Deadpool actually takes him out on multiple occasions? Yeah, that's something we absolutely have to unpack. Section 1. A Cosmic Love Triangle. Okay, to really understand why these guys are fighting in the first place, the absolutely crucial point here is that this isn't about world domination, the Infinity Stones, or some grand cosmic balance. Nope, it's a cosmic love triangle over Mistress Death. According to Marvel lore, Mistress Death is a nigh-omnipotent cosmic entity and the literal personification of death in the Marvel universe. She often appears as a skeletal figure cloaked in a black hood, or, occasionally as a human woman. She's a fundamental constant of mortal existence. And here's the kicker. Both Thanos and Deadpool desperately seek her affection. I mean, Thanos literally tries to wipe out half of all living beings in the universe just to impress her and prove his love. Talk about a grand gesture. And this brilliantly illustrates the hilarious contrast between these two characters. On one side, Thanos takes himself incredibly seriously as a dark cosmic force. He is pompous, portentous, and totally defined by his grand conquests. Then, on the other side, you've got Deadpool, who is intentionally irritating, fundamentally trivial, and entirely self-aware that he's, well, trapped in a comic book. He doesn't have godlike powers. He's just nearly invulnerable because of his mutant healing factor. Having these two massively extreme personalities compete for the exact same cosmic entity is just a brilliant study in contrasting tones. Now, because of who they're fighting over, this rivalry ends up playing out on a massive multiverse-spanning scale. It literally drags the highest reaches of reality right into their absolutely petty squabbles. The Marvel multiverse is incredibly vast, right? It's filled with alternate timelines and abstract entities, and yet, the fate of all existence frequently hangs in the balance just because Thanos and Deadpool are trying to out-romance each other. It's wild. Section 2. Cursed with Immortality. So, we all know Deadpool's healing factor is legendary, but what that actually means is he's undergone some incredibly extreme non-lethal deaths. Because he had so many of these brutal near-death experiences, his soul would frequently brush right up against the realm of Mistress Death. So, naturally, the two of them bonded, and Deadpool became completely infatuated with her. Well, you can imagine how this sat with the Mad Titan. Thanos grew fiercely jealous. And his solution? He actually cursed Deadpool with absolute immortality. Thanos made it so the mercenary could never actually die, ensuring that Deadpool could never permanently cross over into Death's realm to be with her. I mean, wow, it is the ultimate act of petty cosmic jealousy. Section 3. Death by Plastic Toy. This brings us to the absolutely absurd first time Deadpool actually managed to eliminate the Mad Titan. In the Jerry Duggan and Brian Posen run of the comic Deadpool number 45, we get an absolute masterclass in comedic timing. Thanos, incredibly, hires Deadpool to steal the Cosmic Cube, which he believes is the last Infinity Stone he needs to put into his gauntlet to wipe out half the universe. But hey, Deadpool is always one step ahead in the most ridiculous way possible. Right before Thanos can take the stone, Deadpool reveals a massive secret. He's swapped the mighty Infinity Gauntlet for a fake. Thanos suddenly realizes he's wearing nothing but a cheap plastic toy. Deadpool then casually places the real stone into the actual gauntlet, jumps out, and uses it to deliver an infinity-powered finger blast. Now, what's really interesting here is the sheer humiliation of the moment. Thanos is literally sitting in his infamous yellow Thanos copter, and yes, if you didn't know, that's an actual real thing in Marvel lore, fully expecting to ascend to godhood.
Instead, he gets entirely wiped out, completely vaporized along with his helicopter by Deadpool literally pointing a finger at him and saying, "Pew." It's hilarious because it perfectly undercuts the serious, dramatic tension that usually surrounds Thanos with just peak Deadpool absurdity.
Section 4. The Unlikely Team-Up. But as we know, death is rarely permanent in comic books, which brings us to their massive 2015 clash where the love triangle takes a very different turn. Mistress Death completely disappears from the Marvel Universe. Poof, gone. It turns out she's been kidnapped by Eternity, an abstract being at the center of nothing who literally embodies the universe itself. And without death, well, the universe loses the ability to die. People who suffer fatal injuries are just locked in a deathless limbo, and those already dead suddenly return to life. This leads to profound societal and ecological collapse, including a completely hilarious subplot where zombies begin demanding fair workers' rights. So, to save the entity they both love and restore the delicate balance of the universe, Thanos and Deadpool are forced into a highly uneasy alliance. This quote from the Slings and Arrows graphic novel guide perfectly validates just how well the writer, Tim Seeley, played these extreme personalities off of each other. It notes that Seeley's Thanos is suitably pompous and portentous, and his Deadpool is suitably trivial and irritating, and the contrast works much better than it might be assumed. Because honestly, under less for writers, Thanos can become a bit tiresome. But having Deadpool bouncing off of him, both literally and metaphorically, makes the whole team-up both ridiculous and deeply entertaining. It keeps those cosmic stakes super high while injecting constant irreverence.
Section 5. An exploding cosmic finale.
Okay, reaching the climax of this unlikely partnership, the graphic novel masterfully escalates matters chapter by chapter. Well, there's a pretty gratuitous cameo by the Guardians of the Galaxy to keep things grounded and recognizable Marvel property. The narrative pushes right up to the highest cosmic power levels. They aren't just fighting regular street-level thugs here. They are confronting Eternity, the living, breathing embodiment of the universe. To help them damage Eternity and actually free her, Mistress Death grants both Thanos and Deadpool a portion of her immense strength. But of course, true to form, Thanos inevitably betrays everyone. Once Eternity is weakened, Thanos decides, you know what? He's just going to destroy Eternity and take the universe down along with him. Deadpool tries to step in and stop him, but Thanos throws him directly into Eternity's void. But here's where it gets crazy. Floating among stars and planets, Deadpool is found by the Unipower, which is Eternity's guardian. The Unipower bonds with Deadpool, turning him into the cosmic being known as Captain Universe. Armed with this absolutely unfathomable cosmic power, Deadpool exits the void and literally beats Thanos until the Mad Titan explodes into a blast of raw cosmic energy. Boom, kill number 2. So, Thanos is defeated again, the universe is saved, and balance is restored. But as the cosmic dust settles, a totally fascinating piece of comic lore emerges regarding Mistress Death's true feelings. Both of these men have fought, died, and killed for her. But does she actually love the Mad Titan? Well, it turns out the answer is incredibly cold. Death ultimately loves Thanos purely for his utility. Her affection is based entirely on manipulation. Think about it. Thanos causes unparalleled death and destruction across the cosmos. By keeping him infatuated with her, she ensures a constant, massive flow of souls right into her realm. She doesn't want him sitting by her side. She wants him out in the universe doing her dirty work. And this is exactly why, at the very end of the Deadpool vs. Thanos comic, Thanos' face ominously appears in a mirror. She is intentionally keeping him around. Which leaves us with this final, incredibly provocative thought to take away from this explainer. If the very embodiment of death needs Thanos alive to cause destruction, and actively works to keep him around as her absolute greatest supplier of souls, is it even possible for the Mad Titan to stay dead? It's a brilliant paradox. Deadpool might be able to vaporize him with a plastic toy, or literally explode him with cosmic energy, but as long as death has a job for him, Thanos will always return. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive into one of Marvel's most entertaining feuds. Keep questioning the lore, and I'll see you in the next explainer.